All right, it's 9 o'clock and we're going to get this meeting started. This is the Grand Traverse County Board of Commissioners organizational meeting. It is January 8th, 2025. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. Can you all join me, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to do the roll call.
I never sat in this seat.
McAllister?
Here.
Flynn?
Here.
Walter?
Here.
Spence?
Here.
Hentschel?
Present.
Nelson?
Here.
Andrews?
Here.
Seifert?
Here.
Morris?
Here.
Our next order of business is public comment. I'm going to read the rules. Any person shall be permitted to address a meeting of the Board of Commissioners which is required to be open to the public under the provisions of the Michigan Open Meetings Act. Public comment shall be carried out in accordance with the following board rules and procedures. Any person wishing to address the board may state his or her name and township or district. Providing a specific address is not recommended. Persons may address the board on matters or issues which are relevant and germane to county government as determined by the chairperson. No person shall be allowed to speak more than once on the same matter, excluding time needed to answer commissioners' questions, if any. The chairperson shall control the amount of time each person shall be allowed to speak, which shall not exceed 3 minutes. The chairperson may, at his or her discretion, allow an additional opportunity or time to speak if determined germane and necessary to the discussion. Public comment will be solicited during the 2 public comment periods noted in Rule 5.4, Order of Business. However, public comment may be received during the meeting when a specific agenda topic is scheduled for discussion by the board. Prior to the first public comment, the chairperson will indicate the topics on the agenda for which public comment will be accepted. Members of the public wishing to comment should raise their hand or pass a note to the clerk in order to be recognized and shall not address the board until called upon by the chairperson. The board shall not comment or respond to a person who is addressing the board. Silence or non-response from the board should not be interpreted as disinterest or disagreement by the board. Please be respectful and refrain from personal or political attacks. Anybody want to come up for public comment? Please just start a line and we'll just go from there. Just state your name.
Good morning. My name is Tricia Hoyt, and I have been, I live here in Traverse City, and I have been asked to read a letter from Jane Hayes, who is unable to attend today due to a medical situation in her family. And so I quote her letter exactly. Dear Commissioners, the Traverse City region, with its astonishing natural environment and small-town atmosphere, is known as a great place to live or visit. Our economy is strong with farming and tourism, supporting small business and growing industries that include technology, education, healthcare, providing jobs for our residents. But as we have seen elsewhere, all of that could erode if there's a lack of confidence in our elected officials. So as you carry out your obligation as county commissioners at your January 8th, that is today's meeting, consider the impact of your decisions on your duty as elected officials to serve the public interest. It is impossible to see any way forward for this board to properly serve until Rob Hentschel steps aside to resolve his legal issues, which will continue to be a distraction from the work of the Commission. During my tenure as a member of the Traverse City School Board, a former mayor of Traverse City advised me to always vote your conscience. For me, that meant for every vote I took, it was not enough to consider whether I was a conservative, moderate, or liberal, but paramount to consider the ethical and moral responsibility of my action as an elected official. Your decisions on January 8th, that is today, are about the sexual behavior of two commissioners, one who pleaded guilty and one who is now the focus of a first-degree criminal sexual assault investigation. Mr. Hentschel's presence on the board can only serve as an impediment to the functioning of the board and the fragile reputation of Traverse City as a community. Traverse City residents take a lot of pride in our community. We know none of us are perfect. However, we do expect that those elected carry with them ethical and moral standards of behavior that represent the integrity of our community. Vote your conscience. Jane Hayes. I am unable to attend the meeting today due to family medical procedure in Grand Rapids. However, I'm providing my comments to a representative of Traverse Indivisible who will be at the meeting. I request my comments to be included in the public record. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm John Dispelder, Peninsula Township. I'm a leader of Traverse Indivisible, and I'm speaking today on behalf of many concerned residents of the Grand Traverse County. We're calling for the resignation of Commissioner Rob Hentschel due to a troubling pattern of unethical conduct that has eroded public trust and harmed our community. Under Commissioner Hentschel's leadership, we've seen actions that have caused significant division and embarrassment, from controversial decisions that align with extremist views to attempts to suppress public health efforts and avoid ethical oversight. Most recently, Commissioner Hentschel has been accused of serious misconduct, including criminal sexual conduct, which further undermines his ability to effectively lead. While we understand that he's not been charged or convicted of any crime, the repeated patterns of troubling behavior, combined with the loss of confidence in the voters, from the voters, create a situation where his continued service on the BOC is untenable. We respectfully call on Commissioner Hentschel to step down. If he chooses not to do so, I urge this board to ensure that he is not reappointed as chair or assigned to any leadership roles moving forward. The people of Grand Traverse County deserve better leadership, and it's time for the board to take action.
Hi, my name is Melanie Jones. I'm a proud daughter of a former Michigan State policeman of 25 years and the proud wife of a 25-year Air Force veteran. And I'm speaking about the County Board of Commissioners should have the high personal standards and high moral character. We need to trust them to make good decisions for the Traverse City County. We need an ethics policy. Any commissioner who doesn't vote for one seems to me to not want to be held accountable. We need one now with high standards so we can have better commissioners in charge of the county's business. Declaring TC as a sanctuary city, inviting a hate group, the Proud Boys, in a council meeting, brandishing an assault rifle, sticking their political views into the COVID crisis, firing the county health department, which they are not health officials and shouldn't have been able to do that, causing legal dispute with the Beta Board, and not disclosing the chair's recent incident before the election are not the best use of county business. Leadership should resign. We need better leaders on the Grand Traverse County Board. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Carol Shukra. I love East Bay Township, Charter Township. And I want to thank all returning commissioners. Welcome back. And I want to thank you for your continuing service. And welcome to our new commissioner, Commissioner Spence. Thank you. And as for the recent incident that's bringing much unwanted attention to Grand Traverse County, residents of Grand Traverse County area, we hope for better, we expect better, and we deserve better. We look forward to the Grand Traverse Board of Commissioners to continue being a working team to do better. And thank you so much.
Good morning, Dave Petrov from Interlochen. Sadly, I'm only allowed 3 minutes for public comment, so it is difficult to say as much as I should about the criminal acts that are supported by too many politicians at all levels of government. The offense I have tried to address to this board is about the violation of our Constitution by the still sitting President, Joe Biden. I addressed the issue back in November to the Express, early in December to this board, and again after the first Indivisible rally, and again to the Record Eagle after they declared me a supporter of Hentschel, while ignoring the issue I tried to address. Of course, no Democrat wants to criticize Biden for his illegal wars, and the Republicans will be happy to follow his precedent-setting actions, allowing the next president to also ignore Article 8 of the Constitution and take America into wars without an act of Congress. Every president should be impeached for violating the Constitution. But now they will be free to declare war anywhere, anytime they choose. I do not want the blood of genocidal murder on my hands, or to continue staining our American flag by allowing a warmonger president such unfettered power. And I cannot believe any good citizen of this county should want to throw out the constitutional system of laws and justice for anything, including what we have a mob here for. I am not a fan of Hentschel, but his guilt or innocence should be decided by the courts, not by allegations, whereas the guilt of Joe Biden is obvious to the whole world, and all Americans are now complicit in his crime. Biden has committed an assault against the Constitution and all of us. We are the jury, and he should be impeached, while true Americans should avoid vigilante justice and mobs. Thank you.
Judy Pelto, East Bay Township. I'm here in support of the petition to resign, and it's not just a matter of the most recent allegations made against Mr. Hentschel, but a long series of bad behavior, and I don't believe that he represents fairly the people of East Bay Township. I think that his continued presence on the board is nothing more than distraction, preventing an ethics policy from being developed, the dispute with Long Lake Township in terms of the financial implications of that. I won't go through everything, but I just think that we deserve better. It's been said, we expect more, and continued service on the board, especially as the chair, will do nothing to help the county or the constituents of Mr. Hentschel. And I'm in that district, so I'm speaking specifically to that. And I'm very concerned that the allegations, the most recent allegations, were not made public until after the election. He won the seat by a very thin margin. It's doubtful if those allegations had been made public, he'd be on this committee today. So I thank you for your time.
Good morning. I'm Chris Holtz from Long Lake Township. Thank you, Penny. Happy New Year, and congratulations to every one of you. Every one of you. You were elected by the people of your own districts, and I hope you agree that people of other districts should not be able to override your elections, period. But that is what is being proposed by those who want to deny due process, the underlying principle that persons accused are presumed innocent until proven guilty. That presumption of innocence is something that every one of us expects and deserves. Your collective actions today will set the tone for the next 4 years. I hope and pray that you all consider seriously what is right and what is wrong. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Katie Niss from East Bay Township. Accusations, that's all they are, is accusations against Rob Hentschel. He's not been charged by a jury of his peers. He's not been found guilty, but yet we have a group of people here that want to say because of these sexual allegations, he shouldn't be in the chair that he's in. However, when you're confronted with that, it's just accusations, they know that, so they switch to something else. This is clearly just a political stunt to keep Rob from being reelected as chair. He has done an excellent job in his position, evidenced by the fact that he has been continuously reelected year over year. So I support Rob, and I support the fact that we should be allowing justice to take its course, and we'll base that decision based on what the courts decide. But secondly, I also want to support the Republicans on the county commissioners as they vote today for the new leadership. Regarding your vote, I just want to encourage you that you need to vote together to stay strong. It's such a slim majority, and so we've never needed more of a strong leadership in the county commission from the Republicans than we do today. We do not need more liberal left policies in Grand Traverse County. They're clearing 420 acres of forest land in Grayling to put solar panels. Betsy Kofia voted for tent cities in Traverse City. These are the kind of liberal left policies we don't need, and we need strong leadership in our county commission to prevent those things from hitting Grand Traverse County. So we support Darrell Nelson to be the chair for the county commission, and we support Rob Hentschel to be the vice chair. Republicans are watching, all of you, and I mean that with respect, because we need strong leadership in our county, and we hope that you will listen to us as we tell you who we want to be leadership in Grand Traverse County. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Ben Bliss at East Bay Township. Boy, I wish I'd taken the time to write up a nice big speech like that. Primary reason I am here is in support of Commissioner Hentschel. I have known Rob personally and professionally for nearly 30 years. We've spent some good time together. I know the man, I know his character. As Katie had just mentioned, there's a reason that he continuously gets reelected. I know that an opportunity like this is rarely overlooked from the opposite sides of the political aisle. Taking an opportunity to oust someone of quality leadership who's been proven time and time again with allegations that haven't been charged. We hear time and time again of all the other things, all the bad behavior he's done, but no real specifics. So I hope people take that under consideration. At the national level, we dealt with this for the last 4 years, and we've seen where that's gone, so probably one and the same. Second, I want to echo what Katie had just said for the votes today for the chair and the vice chair. I feel it's very important that everyone lock arms and stay together, stick together. Like the first person that spoke today said, vote your conscience. Consciences can go either way for sure in this world, but knowing that we have quality leadership, knowing that the last thing that Northern Michigan needs right now, as Katie mentioned, was more liberal policies and sensibilities. We need to stick together and do what we believe to be right, vote our consciences, and lock arms and continue to make progress. Thank you.
My name is Justin Reed, 630 Cottage Drive, Apartment 1B, Traverse City, Michigan. I'd like to address something that has came across on the board of directors for Northern Lakes Community Mental Health. This is in regards of on how the governance and bylaws for that has been established. To my understanding is that the secretary for the board of directors had a medical emergency, and I feel sorry and my empathies for that. However, I did email out to the board of directors in Penny Morris about those bylaws and governance models, about getting a reply for that. And so in the board of directors meeting minutes on the, let's see here, the last one is there was some talk about the committees and on how the fact that these committees would be solicited out to the counties, the 6 county. So I'm feeling like the bylaws and the governance model that got passed is you think that you'd have criteria for those committees that would be outreached out to the counties. And currently the board of directors is a 16 membership for that represents all the 6 counties, and that being 2/3 of primary consumers. And if the confidence in our communities is to be realized, is that Crystal Frost is one of those board members. And there has not been a primary consumer that is currently having services with Roanoke Lakes Community Mental Health. Instead, Mrs. Frost is in private practice. And that says a lot for the trust in our community and also in our board members for the county commission too. I would hopefully that there would be some new assignment from Penny Morris to somebody else. And talking about boards, the beta board, that has not been a walk in the park with the beta board. There was a lawsuit going on because of on how the board of directors for beta was functioning. And you have Leonard County and Grand Traverse County and beta in this lawsuit to where there was expansion of board membership. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Judy Childs, and I live in East Bay Township. I am honored to speak before the new board. I am thrilled. And I'm not here to talk about division. I'm not here to talk about sticking together. I'm here to talk about we're one. We are one, and we listen to each other, and we respect each other. And that's why I'm here. I'm also here for the children. What are the children thinking? I worked at East Middle School for a long time, and they are watching. The national news, the news has been packed with our commissioners' poor behavior. Ron Klaus was in the Washington Post. So, Commissioner Hentschel, I'm here to ask you to resign. When Mr. Klaus pulled his AR-15 in the public meeting, yes, it was on Zoom, that was highly inappropriate. You laughed. You never, ever apologized. There were no apologies. A constituent was asking to decry violence, and he pulls out his symbol of violence. Mr. Klaus did. That's inappropriate. I'm so sad. I'm so sad that that happened. An apology was certainly necessary. There have been actions by Mr. Hentschel in the past that I have been very concerned about. I went by Roy's store during COVID. There was a rally for an extremist group with the pickups and the flags, and one of them was obscene. This is not okay. Our children are watching. The 3 schools are right by that store. Mr. Jewett has already been mentioned on his misbehavior. So he's not here, and Ron Klaus isn't here. And yes, we live in a Republican county. And yes, people do vote straight ticket. That has an impact on our board. But anyway, looking at your faces, I feel that I feel good, and I'm going to be back. And I thank you all, and I thank you for your effort, Mr. Hentschel, and the good things that that you did. But I really think that this is a moment in time when your resignation would best serve us. Thank you.
Hi there. I'm Marilyn Deere in Long Lake Township. And Penny, thank you for doing a great job out there. We appreciate it. And just kind of listening to people, it seems like East Bay and Long Lake are the two areas that have a lot to say. On my way in, it was hard to miss the people with the signs. So I stopped to talk to them to find out what is their issues besides just the sign that says asking for a resignation. And it was interesting to hear their points of view. Everyone has a point of view. It's America. It's free speech, but and so I think we can all appreciate that. Most of what they had to say, I don't agree with. I think Rob Hentschel has been and done a very good job leading the commissioners. Everyone has a right to the opinion. Probably the biggest flare that I heard coming up has to do with the sexual assault. And like it was already mentioned, it's a shame to persecute someone before they've been charged, before they've been convicted of anything. And so I was sorry to hear that that was the mix that was also thrown in. I hope Rob Hentschel does not resign, because I think he has a lot to offer our community, and so I support Rob Hentschel in going forward, and I hope the commissioners will see the positive things that Rob has added to the body. Okay, thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Bruce Moore in East Bay Township. I'm in Commissioner Hentschel's district. Whoever you elect for chair this morning, remember that this board has failed to pass a budget in any month other than December in the last 6 years. The budget process is broken. It has been broken for 6 years at least. I encourage whoever you elect as the new chair to come up with a budget process that's transparent, because you cannot be a fiscal conservative if you pass a budget that nobody's seen and you do it at the last meeting of the year. You cannot be a fiscal conservative if that's how you do things. Finally, I would like to congratulate the board on 14 days without a criminal court appearance by one of your members. Thank you.
My name is Mark Dragovich. This up a little higher. My name is Mark Dragovich, Garfield Township, and I believe we deserve better than a predator. I deserve that we deserve a commissioner that stands up for our rights. I can't believe that we are being asked to sit in a room with someone who's accused of crimes that you've been accused of, Commissioner Hentschel. And I believe that there's just a lot of people in this room that probably don't have the courage to stand up right now. So can I get a show of hands who would like to see Mr. Hentschel resign today? Let the record show it's the majority of the room. And you should resign. You are a disgrace. And the fact that you're asking these women to sit in the same room with you at this time is wrong. That's all I have to say. Resign.
Good morning, Jim Carruthers. I'm a resident of 11th Street, and I'm a past mayor of Traverse City. When I was growing up here as a kid, vacationing here, we came here because of all the quality lifestyle aspects this place has to offer. When I moved here in 1989 from the East Coast, Traverse City was just a dot on a map. No one knew about Traverse City. I spent decades working with many of you on various boards and commissions, county, city programs, to really highlight what's so great about Traverse City. We've done an amazing job over the past 20 some odd years, telling people in the world how wonderful we are, highlighting what a great place this place is environmentally, our fresh water, what a great place this is to go to have your kids come and go to school here, our great public school system, all the wonderful aspects. We've told the world that we hit all the top 10 lists of how wonderful this town is. But now we're tarnished because of the drama that's happening with partisan politics. You know, behavior is when you're elected to these seats, you're expected to sort of be the highlight of your community and operate within the guise of the law. You know, when you do something wrong, you should resign. You should take that and then sort of fade away in your own personal life. I held my office respectfully. I tried to be as honest and open as I can be. Your sex life is a very private thing and should be held private, but when you cross a line and you abuse women, you should resign. Whether you're convicted or not, why do you have to challenge a woman to go to the hospital who went through a rape kit? That's a very personal and private and invasive procedure. How can you tell that woman she's lying? Why would any woman go through that procedure and just to make up for politics, to get at somebody? It's wrong. We need to respect women. We need to respect the oath of office. We need to respect our positions as leaders in our community. And we should do what's right. And Mr. Hentschel, I'm sorry that you're being highlighted this way, but you should step back and do the right thing for this community and let us move on. And let's highlight the good things in Traverse City and the region and not the bad things. It's getting old when the national news media and with our nighttime talk show hosts are making fun of Traverse City because of the drama. Let's move past that and highlight the wonderful things we are and continue to make Traverse City a great place. Thank you.
Do I have anybody else who would like to do public comment? Going once, going twice. We're going to close public comment. Our next order of business is the election of the chairperson. The way this is going to work is I am going to take nominations for chair. A second is not actually required, right, Matt?
Correct.
So I need nominations. I will take all nominations. After the nominations are closed, I will poll each commissioner and you will tell me who you are voting for. Make sense? Yes. So do I have any nominations for chair?
I have a question. I'm sorry, go ahead. You have a question. Same question. So how many votes are required to become chair?
5.
Okay, thank you.
It is a majority of the elected and serving. So we don't want like 3, 2, 2, 1. So remember that 5 votes will get the chair elected. So do I have any nominations for chair? Mr. Seifert.
Nominate myself.
Do I have any other nominations for chair? I ask again, do I have any other nominations for chair? Hearing none, I will poll the commissioners. This is for Commissioner Seifert to be chair of the Board of Commissioners for the next 2 years. McAllister?
Yes.
Flynn?
Yes.
Walter?
Yes.
Spence?
Yes.
Hentschel?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Andrews?
Yes.
Seifert?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
Commissioner Seifert is now our chair.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your support.
Can you please pass that down to him? And I will turn the meeting over to Chairman Seifert.
Good thing you're sitting next to me. So for the election, Bonnie, for the election of vice chair, it's the same process, correct?
I have,
Thank you.
yes.
It's up to the chair.
I thought you might want to do it that way.
Use your mic, though.
So I'd like to do it the same way for nominations for vice chair. Any nominations?
I'd like to nominate TJ Andrews for vice chair.
Any other nominations?
I would like to nominate myself. I believe this position needs to be held by a woman because of our new makeup on the board. And I am the woman with the most experience on this board. I have a proven track record of being a peacemaker and a collaborator, and it is a supportive role, and that just happens to be one of my best strengths, being a supporter.
Commissioner Hentschel? All right. Any more nominations? Sure.
I'll just let, I appreciate the comment, and I will just let my record speak for itself on this board.
Any more nominations? Roll call vote, if you please, Bonnie.
Well, I'd actually nominate myself also.
All right. Anyone else?
All right, I will poll the commissioners. You tell me which person out of these three you would vote for. It's going to be out of TJ Andrews, Penny Morris, and Brian McAllister. So, yes.
I just want to mention, this is for a one-year term. The vice chair is a
Oh,
one-year
yes,
term.
1 year. And Matt, do we have to have 5 for this one too?
Yes.
All right, you'll need 5 to win as the vice chair or be elected as the vice chair. Commissioner McAllister, who do you vote for?
Me.
Commissioner Flynn?
Andrews.
Commissioner Walter?
Andrews.
Commissioner Spence?
TJ Andrews.
Commissioner Hentschel?
Morris.
Commissioner Nelson?
Morris.
Commissioner Andrews?
Andrews.
Commissioner Morris?
I vote for myself.
Commissioner Seifert?
Andrews.
Commissioner Andrews has received 5 votes. She will be the new vice chair. Please pass that down to her. Please don't clap. We're not supposed to clap.
Okay, so moving on, we're looking for an approval of agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make that motion. Support.
So, Chair, since
Yes,
you're new,
ma'am.
please repeat the motion, repeat who made the motion and
Okay.
who seconded it for the clerk to make sure she puts it in the minutes
You're
correctly.
going to have to hold my hand, Bonnie, I'm sorry.
I know.
So approval of agenda, it was motion by, as presented, was a motion for approval by Flynn and seconded by Andrews. Is that right?
Correct.
Then you say all in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Yeah.
So we're going to move to 7A, the adoption of standing rules, board rules of order.
Move to approve as presented.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have the board rules, adopting the standing rules of order. Motion by Hentschel, seconded by Andrews. Do I have to roll call that vote, or is that just a general consensus?
So first would be any discussion.
Oh.
And then if there's no discussion, it would just be a voice vote unless somebody requests a roll call vote.
Thank you. Any discussion? Commissioner Flynn?
I know that in 6.3.21, it states may say name and address. I know that we kind of changed those rules during public comment, that we want the name stated, but we don't need the address. Is that worth rewording in our rules?
Yeah, we updated that.
All right, so can we make sure that that correction is reflected?
Yes.
Just to be clear, it does say any person wishing to address the board may state his or her name and address.
Doesn't mean you have to.
But don't we need a name, or did,
No, you don't have to.
you don't have to give a name?
Okay.
It's up to you. So the Open Meetings Act does allow you to place rules that include requirements for somebody to comment, which would include, if you wanted, a name and/or address. Name is typical just for the record as far as the minutes are concerned. Most people want to have their name indicated in the record. I think having may in there is an appropriate rule of order as well.
Okay.
I think just through our experience, we hear some people give their address and others give their township, which is all perfectly fine under my interpretation of the rules as drafted.
I'm just asking because I know a lot of times the chair or the clerk, reiterates, please state your name. So the may kind of, if they don't have to.
I read that name is a required element of the rule,
Okay.
and then the address is discretionary.
Okay.
So how do you want that corrected, or do I need to correct anything?
It doesn't sound like legal's advising that we correct it, so I'm okay with it staying the
Okay.
same. I just wanted to discuss it.
Okay with that? All right.
I suppose it does say may state his or her name or address. I would, if I was here and somebody said I would like to remain anonymous, I would consider that to be compliant with your rules as well. So we don't have that happen very often, but
I would like to have that be an option, just for reasons, who knows what topic. A name and address. I think someone's address being public can be dangerous, especially some of the topics that might be up.
And,
Yeah,
and
that's
right,
why I'd like to keep may, because it gives people the option. We did that at the city, and some people didn't feel comfortable with it, and it was fine.
yes, it is discretionary as
Yeah.
drafted.
And we've had anonymous people that chose not to say their name, and I just put anonymous woman, anonymous man.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just
In
know
the
we always
minutes.
follow up saying state your name, so I don't want to put the pressure on folks that don't want to state their name.
Right.
It seems like to address that, the preamble to public comment maybe is a better change than the rules. Maybe it should say, we would like you to, or you may say your name, just so that it doesn't sound as mandatory.
The way it's worded right now is any person wishing to address the board may state his or her name and township or district.
It matches.
That's fine.
Okay.
Providing a specific address is not recommended. We put that in there because, for security, you don't have to put your address.
So we have a motion on the floor to approve as presented. And a second. You made the motion. Oh, I did once already.
Yep,
Are
yep,
we
you
good?
did it right, yep, thank you.
Right, so all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries, thank you. All right, 8, adoption of annual resolution. 8A, resolution permitting the treasurer to waive administration fee and interest charge. This is kind of a yearly thing, isn't it?
So moved.
Support.
All right, I have a motion by Nelson and support by Hentschel that we adopt the resolution as presented. Discussion?
I have a comment. In the summary that's in the cover memo and in the resolution itself, it specifies that the exemption is available for, quote, senior citizens, eligible widows, totally and permanently disabled and blind. And as we know, we talked about this before, the statute also includes eligible service members and eligible veterans. And the clause in the resolution, the active clause, the now therefore, is open, but the whereas clause is limited, right? The whereas clause, I do not believe we mean to exclude veterans and service members who are eligible for this discount, and we should update the resolution. I would propose a friendly amendment that we include eligible service members and veterans in the resolution, in the second whereas clause.
Can you read that for clarification?
With the addition of eligible service members and eligible veterans to the second whereas clause.
I'll accept that amendment.
Seconder accepts as well.
I'm used to looking that way for chair.
You're good.
All righty, we have a motion that's been amended. Any more discussion? Excuse me. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. So 9A, proposed monthly meeting dates and times.
Move to approve as presented.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Nelson and a second by Commissioner Hentschel to approve meeting notice for 2025. Discussion?
Yeah, I'm interested in exploring again the possibility of having an evening meeting or an occasional evening meeting with the possibilities of some morning and some evening on a rotating basis. And I'm interested in that because there's many folks who can't attend at 9 a.m. on a Wednesday and have expressed that numerous times that many working people cannot attend these meetings. And so I'd like to make it so that we could bring in some more public engagement. And I know a couple years ago we looked into the possibility of what possible times those are. I don't know what those are right now, so I would recommend that we look into those other options before approving this calendar.
Go ahead, Commissioner Andrews.
So I believe we are under the, and our council will correct us, I believe at the open meetings, we set a calendar, we can adjust it. But if once we set our calendar for the year, which I believe is supposed to be done early in the year, then there's sort of a waiver, I mean, then the notice is sort of blanketed for the year or for the amount of time that's covered in the calendar. So there's a legal reason that we adopt a schedule today. Whether we change it is always an option, but I think we get an advantage administratively if we adopt it as presented. I share Commissioner Walter's interest in exploring the opportunity for evening meetings, but I'm also in favor of, in the meanwhile, moving forward with what we've got and maybe having a direct motion with some timelines on it for bringing back some options.
Maybe legal can speak to that. I'm not following what the advantage would be necessarily.
So the Open Meetings Act does require the board to set a schedule. It can be changed at their organizational meeting. So that's what we're doing today. I think what Commissioner Andrews is referring to is the process to reschedule a regular meeting, which under the Open Meetings Act to be done at one meeting, you can reschedule the next meeting. If you're in between meetings, you need to probably schedule it as a special meeting if you're going to make a change. But you do have, I think the point is that if you want to change a future regular meeting date, there is a process to do that, including making an adjustment to say, hey, every other board meeting is going to be at a different time than what we originally scheduled.
Commissioner Spence?
Yeah, for the record, I would support exploring an evening meeting schedule for our Board of Commissioner meetings.
Commissioner Nelson?
I want to reiterate that I have 6 different appointments, and there's not evenings unless you take a Friday night available without one of my townships or villages suffering with, well, let's qualify whether they're suffering with me not being there, but I'm not able to do my duty if I'm going to be at meetings here. We have a full house. We brought in extra chairs today, and we have staff. A lot of staff have to come to these meetings. This is a business meeting conducted during the day. We've had many packed houses. We have many online options for people to view the meeting. We have many online and postal and phone call and other ways for us to communicate with our constituents. So I would encourage us to stay at the daytime period for our meetings.
Commissioner Morris?
And I just want to state for the record that I have taught a class on Wednesday nights for the past 20 years, and that will not change. So I would be unavailable.
Is that the dancing class?
Yes, it is. I could bring it here if you really wanted to.
I might hold you to that.
All right.
That might be worthy, though.
But I also echoing Commissioner Nelson, just to say that we signed up for this going in, knowing that we would be going to morning meetings, and I would be hesitant to change that. So, I mean, an occasional special meeting would be fine in the evenings, so I'm not opposed to that.
Mr. Flynn?
I know that we signed up for this. I respect that opinion, but that's not, I don't think that's what Commissioner Walter is speaking to, of reasons why we should have an option of at least an occasional evening meeting, as it makes it for working parents even to be able to come in the evenings rather than they're getting their kids to school, they're starting their days as well. So I would be in favor of definitely exploring minimally occasional regular meetings.
Any further discussion? So I'm going to say something about that. I wouldn't mind seeing an opportunity for, I'm down for Commissioner Morris having a special Wednesday meeting, I'm not going to lie. But that's a heavy lift. You also have to realize, I understand that it's some difficult for some folks to get there. But there's like 10 people in this room, they're on the clock, and we're going to pay them overtime, and it's a Herculean lift. Not opposed to looking at it, but that's a big ask. Every once in a while, and you know, Friday night meeting, shots with Scott, I could be down with that too. We're not going to get a lot done that night, folks. But there is a motion on the floor. So if there's no more discussion.
We don't pay staff overtime when they have evening commitments. They're on a salary. Just like the city, we have evening meetings, and staff comes to that, and they flex their time. So just like every other township or village that does meet in the evening, they're not being paid overtime. They flex their time to be able to attend those meetings. So it wouldn't be like a budgetary interruption. I'm just interested in looking at the possibility of, you know, maybe right now we approve the first month of meetings and we get a recommendation of if there really even are possible evenings by the end of this month to consider for the rest of the year to alternate in a set cadence between morning and evening meetings.
Well,
it might not be more time or more money, but it is more time. It is a commitment from everybody. Me personally, I work every night of the day. So for me, 9 o'clock, I can hit 9. It's hard to hit 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30 for me personally, because I work every night. There's not a night I actually don't work. But I'm just one of 9.
Again, to reiterate, that's something definitely we can explore later on, but that's not the motion on the floor. Any more comments? Go ahead.
I just want to let you know that after this meeting, I send the approved meeting notice for the year to the Record Eagle and have it published. I also do it quarterly. So if you're going to change times, maybe by the first quarter or by the second quarter, by April, we would have something in place before I send it to the paper again. Just an FYI on how we handle that.
Go ahead.
I believe the motion is to approve the schedule, but I want to make clear, because under the special meetings in the attachment, it says a special meeting of the Board of Commissioners shall be held when called by the chairperson or by notice of 1/3 of the commissioners in writing to the county clerk. That's not accurate. It says our rules say, and I believe it's state law, a special meeting of the Board of Commissioners shall be held when called by the request of 1/3 of the commissioners in writing to the clerk. I don't believe the chair autonomously can call a special meeting of the board. And I don't know if
I don't know if that's accurate either.
it's under 2.9 of our rules. A special meeting of the County Board of Commissioners shall be held only when requested by at least 1/3 of the members of the board. So I don't know that that's what we're approving, but regardless, that should be changed in the notice just to reflect that.
Well, it is part of this document, so I'm assuming we are approving it.
I don't know. The motion was to approve the
That is-
schedule, but you're right.
So to change on the notice that I send out, shall be called by 1/3 of the commissioners and strike out when called by the chairperson?
Yes.
Okay.
You're asking for a friendly amendment to that?
Well, I guess I'm asking, what's the motion? Is the motion to approve the schedule, or is it the motion to approve the meeting notice?
My motion is to approve this, but I would take a friendly amendment to delete the chairperson out of the special meetings paragraph and have it be only the 1/3 of the commissioners
And it's
in
by,
writing.
yeah, it's by request
that
of
matches.
1/3. The notice has to be to all commissioners, right?
Yes.
3 requests, all receive, then it's,
I would,
no, and it's actually 4. Didn't we change it to 4?
What does the bylaw say? We did change the
we
number.
did change it to 4.
And I think it was 1/3 match 4. I'll do my math.
No, 1/3 is 3, but I believe that's what it used to be,
Yeah,
and I
so-
believe it was changed.
Did change it to 4.
We did change it to 4, so I think we should match what the bylaws say, which was 4.
Well, current bylaws say it's a third.
Yeah, I think it
What
was
does the
proposed to
bylaws
be
say?
4.
What-
1/3 of the
changed
members of
to-
the board.
It was changed to
It was
4 a couple
changed to
years ago.
4.
Do we have a current copy of the
No,
bylaws
you know what?
available?
It was proposed to be changed to 4, and then we rejected that at our January 2024 meeting because it's contrary to state law. And our attorney advised us on that. But there was a proposal to do so.
So it remains at 1/3?
Yep.
Yes.
Thank you.
I think also it says special meetings will be posted 18 hours in advance of the meeting on the front of the governmental center. It should be added that they should be posted on the website as well with the other meetings. Will you take a friendly amendment?
Is that, I don't know if that's
Well, it's part of this
necessary.
special meeting. I mean, this is all part of the
I think
document.
we have
so-
to match that's, I believe, check with our council, I believe that's law. We can't do it less than 18 hours, so the post down there is following law, and this would obviously have to follow law. And the other laws that are not mentioned in here, we still have to follow.
This is in addition to, it just says now on the front of the governmental center. I'm asking for a friendly amendment to add that the notice is also posted on the website.
I think it would be, it has to be.
It
Doesn't
always
say so
is,
there.
No, but by law, wouldn't it be required to be?
The Open Meetings Act does have a requirement if you have a website that you also
Yeah,
post it
so,
there.
I mean, we're gonna have to comply with all laws on here, so there's gonna be paragraphs of laws that are gonna affect this, so.
Well, but
Then why do we have this at all then, if it's?
Please, Matt.
I do recommend that it match what our board rules say. So I think it would be prudent to have this special meeting section. I've heard a friendly amendment proposed to eliminate by the chairperson. I think that's appropriate. And then also where it says in advance of the meeting on the front of the governmental center and the county's website. I think those two changes would be consistent with the Open Meetings Act and your board rules.
And I think it's also by request of 1/3 of the commissioners, not by notice of 1/3 of the commissioners.
Yes.
Clear as mud?
Yep.
Did you get all those changes, Bonnie?
I have.
All right.
Wait, were the friendly amendments accepted?
All right. So on that last friendly amendment, you accept?
I do.
You?
I do.
Fantastic.
I'm just going to read that section. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, you're good.
I was going to read that section one more time, make sure that we have it clear, and when I post it on the website. A special meeting of the Board of Commissioners shall be held when called by request of 1/3 of the commissioners in writing to the county clerk. Special meetings will be posted 18 hours in advance of the meeting on the front of the governmental center and on the county website. Good?
Sounds good.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All those opposed?
Aye.
Then we'll do a roll call vote.
Please.
But this is,
Hold on, I gotta find my thing. Got too much paper. All right, this is for the, changing the special meeting part of the notice.
No.
this is for.
For the whole thing,
Oh,
approval
the
as
entire
amended.
thing, I'm sorry.
Yes.
with changes
BOC
proposed.
meeting.
Maybe
notice.
people didn't know that. Maybe you should.
So, BOC meeting notice, roll call vote. Flynn?
Meeting schedule or the special meeting notice?
This is
The
all of
entire
it.
thing.
Okay.
Approval of that document that's
Yes.
attached,
As amended.
as amended.
As amended.
Walter?
No.
Spence?
Yes.
Hentschel?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Andrews?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
McAllister?
Yes.
Seifert?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, everyone.
I'd like to make the motion to direct staff to bring back possibilities for occasional evening meeting possibilities and what the openings are here in the chambers
A second.
Okay.
by the
Motion.
end of January.
I would submit that that's our job, not the administration's job, that we should talk about that as a group and do it here at this dais, not the
I don't know what the meeting schedule is here in the chambers. That's why I'm asking them to bring that back.
Commissioner Nelson, are you taking it upon yourself to call the scheduler of this room to find out when it's available in the evenings?
No, because I want to stay during the mornings.
Okay. Personally, I think it's an appropriate request for administration.
All right.
I'm gonna, with all due respect, I'm gonna vote no, because you can email Lisa up and admin at any time and get that schedule. This is not
We don't need a
something we need to make a
complicated process.
motion for. They have never refused to give us information requested. Just ask her, she'll tell you. She has it right in the computer. Bonnie probably has access to it. She could email it to us for the ask.
So there's a motion on the floor. We're going to ask administration to give us a list of evening options for meeting times by Commissioner Walter, and there's a second. Was it Commissioner Flynn?
Yep,
Yes.
by the end of January.
By the end of January. My apologies. Thank you. Any more discussion?
Just,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Commissioner Spence.
thank you. I want to reiterate, with all due respect to you and your evening schedules, like your Wednesday class and your evening township duties, Commissioner Nelson, that I did say explore. So what that meant is like find those openings, find those evenings that you may not have a township meeting scheduled and a night that's not Wednesday. Now, it's hard for Commissioner McAllister because he works every night, but I just want to reiterate the explore part of the evening options. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Spence. Well said. No further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
No.
Easy, Speedy. All those opposed?
No.
Let's do a roll call vote, Bonnie.
The motion is to direct staff to bring back a schedule to include evening meeting options by the end of January. Is that correct?
Is
All
that
right,
correct?
roll call.
To explore. I think that was a key word for
To
several people.
explore a schedule?
No, to bring back evening meetings to explore, to consider, discuss.
By the end of January.
Okay.
For the board's exploration. There's lots of ways we could say it.
Trying to be very precise.
Fair enough.
And if a motion, I do want to say, if a motion is not written in our agenda packet, I would like it in writing from the commissioners to make sure that I have it correctly in the minutes.
Is that something you
Well-
would accept by email?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's on the video as well.
It is.
Yeah, we'd want to clarify before.
But you
voting.
guys go round and round sometimes.
Yeah.
And then
And
by the end, when the chair says one thing, it's not what was over there. So I think we do need to kind of clear that up.
I'd be worried if an email went out later and any one of us said, no, wait a minute,
Right.
that is not.
That's a good
what I
point.
voted
That's why
for."
So
go
whatever
based on the
whatever the
recording.
chair says the motion is what it's going to be. So listen carefully as he reiterates your motion.
Thank you.
I'll send you an email, Bonnie. Don't worry about it.
All right, this is for the motion to bring back the schedule to explore the evening meeting options by the end of January. Walter?
Yes.
Spence?
Yes.
Hentschel?
No.
Nelson?
No.
Andrews?
Yes.
Morris?
No.
McAllister?
No.
Flynn?
Yes.
Seifert?
No.
Motion fails.
Okay, we're going to move on to 9B, Commissioner Appointments, Assignments. So I'm new, fresh in my seat. I would like to entertain a motion to suspend the board rules, to put this off from today until the next time we meet on the 15th.
You can make that motion if you
Can
want.
I make that
Yes.
motion? Well, I'm going to make that motion, that we suspend Commissioner Appointment and Assignments for 2025 till such time we have a chance to review with legal counsel and commissioners get to put in their desires and, hey, I wouldn't mind trading this spot for that spot because there are some availability.
Is that all part of the motion?
Yeah, it's all part of the motion. Sorry, Bonnie. You can cut it off about halfway.
But could we retain the horse trading in there? Because that's kind of amusing and fun.
That'll be done on the Wednesday evening meeting.
Hey.
So do you want me to reiterate that for you?
Let me say it back and you tell me if it's right. Motion to suspend the committee appointments to the January 15th meeting.
Perfect.
It was supported by
I
Commissioner
seconded
Walter. I mean,
that.
seconded by Walter.
Seconded by Commissioner Walter. Great. Discussion? Let's do a roll call vote just to say so.
We'll get practice at it. Spence?
Yes.
Hentschel?
Yes.
Nelson?
Yes.
Andrews?
Yes.
Morris?
Yes.
McAllister?
Yes.
Flynn?
Yes.
Walter?
Yes.
Seifert?
Yes. All right, moving on to 10, old business. Old business? First meeting of the year, don't have any, do we?
Nope, second public comment.
Sweet, and then there's no new business. Let's go to second public comment. Bonnie, can you remind everybody of the rules, please?
They're the same as they were. I usually don't read them the second time. You do have 3 minutes.
Touche.
Once per topic.
Yeah, once per topic.
Once per topic. So if you've already spoke on one topic, please come
about
up and
something
speak
new.
on another topic if you choose to.
Mitchell Treadwell, 620 West 7th Street, Traverse City, Michigan. I would like to congratulate Chairman Seifert and Vice Chair Andrews on their elections to these roles. As we are in a shared building, I hope that we can continue to have productive and collaborative relationships between the city and the county going forward. We, as city commissioners, have our meetings in these exact same chairs on Monday nights that you are here on Wednesday morning. Also, the second floor that we're in now is dominated by city offices, whether it's planning on this side or the city manager and other staff on this side. On the first floor, members of the public walk in and they're confronted with the choice between the county on the left and the city on the right. I hope that we don't have a division between the two sides of the first floor and between the second and the third floor, and we can continue to work to recognize opportunities but that straddle our own units of government. Whether it's completing the senior center that's now almost done, whether it's working on transportation and road funding projects that don't neatly fall within one municipal boundary. There are plenty of opportunities in the future. Also, I would like to commend this body for doing a similar thing to what Leelanau County did yesterday morning. We hear a lot of talk about blue and red counties or states, but in fairness, places like Grand Traverse and Leelanau are purple. Neither party at any level of the ballot got a 10% majority over the other. And to have a chair and vice chair from opposing parties representing that we are more balanced than we are one-sided, I feel leads to a more equitable and balanced government. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch.
John Disbelder again, Peninsula Township. Just building on what Mitch said, I'm glad we're through this meeting. I wish everyone well. Congratulations to the newly elected leadership. I've had some conversations with some people about the fact that these are Republican and Democratic seats. I think there is a state law maybe that requires that, which I regard as being unfortunate. And if ever there were an opportunity to have these seats be nonpartisan, I'd be all in favor of it. I think without the partisan titles, we can get a lot done. And so I just wanted to offer that as a thought. Thank you.
Thank you.
Justin Reed, I like to say that nor Republican nor Democrat political parties do not matter to me. What matters to me is a change in my community. I have a person that I know who lives in Annika Place 1, and she moved in there with limited resources for income. So now, that beautiful affordable housing project, now she has to run her HVAC system 24/7 because there was an engineering issue with it to where the building is too tight. So in essence, she has to pay the rent plus utilities. So that building that is too tight, that it's not a mistake of hers, she has to go ahead and pay more into it. And I would hope that this Annika Place 2 does not have the same issue, where a promise was said that, hey, this is good for the community, but it's not good for the community if, you know, you promise affordable housing, and yet that same person who says, hey, if I'm paying more for my electrical bill, and I talk to the person who's in charge of that building, and they tell me, oh, I don't pay too much. That is kind of discriminatory, and it's just, you know, it's just sad. And like I said, hopefully with this next building out on Annika Place 2, that you do a blow test and they get all that figured out. So thank you. You have a nice day.
Hi, my name is Jan Johnson, East Bay Township. This first time I've ever been to one of these. I've watched it on TV, and this is a whole different scenario sitting here. And getting my feet wet, understanding what's going on in our county, where I live, my city. And I'm watching all these people speak up, and it's wonderful we all have a say, that we are able to, you know, talk about how we feel about things. Obviously, we all want better, we all want best, we all want excellence. But I would hope that I live in a town, in a city, that allows me enough grace that if I ever get accused of something, there's enough of that grace to go around, that we are innocent until we're proven guilty. And I'm looking at you all sitting there as open and wide and as vulnerable as possible in front of TVs and in front of all these people. And so you all have that burden, and I will pray for you to uphold that burden. There's a reason we don't have lynch mobs anymore. There's a very good reason for that. This is supposed to be a civil society. So I'm hoping that's the type of town I live in, where people will continue to just talk to each other instead of bad-mouthing. I saw somebody over here flip a finger at somebody. Come on. That's just, what is that? It's so juvenile. Can't we just all pull up our big girl pants, big boy pants, and be adults? So I do pray for you all, and I'll pray for the grace that this city can heal whatever happens, and that we're all able to continue to speak our minds. Thank you.
Jim Crothers, and I live on 11th Street in Traverse City. I want to thank Commissioner Walter for bringing up the idea of researching and looking into alternate meeting times on your schedule. I remember a time when you all used to go from township to township to township. You used to meet every single meeting in a different township to accommodate the citizens in your district, to bring your meetings closer to them. I think what Commissioner Walters and those that supported this motion that failed were about accommodating the citizens. Right now, you all in the more recent times have moved your meetings to mornings. And yes, that's good for people who have the time and staff who are here anyway for work, but the majority of our community is at 9 o'clock in the morning, as it was stated, are getting their kids ready for school. They're getting themselves ready to school. They're commuting to work. They don't have the time to come to these meetings, and much less maybe watch them on TV because they have other things going on in their life. So I personally feel there's no problem with looking and researching other times. We get elected to these positions knowing that our personal time is going to be affected. I can tell you I served with many of you until 12 o'clock at night at our meetings. It never was fun, but that's what we stepped up to do, to represent the citizens. Do the hard work, the respectful work to make it work right, and to include the citizenry. So alternating times might be a nice opportunity for the citizens because not everybody can get here. Plus at 9 o'clock in the morning, the parking lot's packed, even though you can't park there anymore, but it's harder for people to be here in the morning. So I hope you will reconsider the idea of looking at alternative times just to make it easier for the citizens. Our jobs, we get elected to it. Sometimes we have to make concessions. We can't always do what we want to do personally, but we give some of our personal life up to serve our community. So thank you for those, all of you, for giving up your personal time and realizing your personal schedules aren't always going to work out for your public volunteerism. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Good morning, Dave Friedman, Garfield Township. I just want to say congratulations to everybody that's been reelected or elected to the board, particularly the new chair and the new vice chair. It's a new year. We've done a lot of good in the past year. We opened the new mental health receiving facility. We've been working on issues in the community. But it's a new year, and I want to make sure that nobody forgets the unfinished business that we have carried forward from last year. So I won't name them specifically. You know what they are. And I thank you all for your service. Thanks.
Thank you. Any more public comment? Going once, going twice. Done. Going on 13 notices, 2025 NACO and MAC conferences. Put them in your calendar if you want to go. I believe we reach out to Lisa if we want to attend those.
Will the chairman be hosting a host county suite?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll just say that I plan to go to the Lansing conference in April, and if anybody wants to carpool, I have a big fat minivan that'll hold a lot of us, and we can talk about open meetings.
What kind of minivan?
I'll be charging the radio. It's a hybrid.
Does it got the TVs in the driver's seats?
It does.
That's got to have that. So I'll plan on attending the last 3 of them. I'm not going to go to Washington, D.C. So any comments on that? Sweet. All right, so.
Adjourn, and we have another meeting.
That's what I want to do. We're gonna adjourn, and we're gonna take a 10-minute break before we come back to the regular business meeting. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, folks.
Flip to the new.
Go back.